Okay, welcome to the 26th episode of the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. I'm your host Triple J. Joining me is my co-host Dr. Games 101.
Hello, people.
And we got some things, and we got actually a few topics to talk about, including a couple that I either found more information on or found out about since Wednesday. So I guess we'll just get right into it. Would you be excited in the Division 3?
Um, if it takes place in Los Angeles, maybe that'll be great. See Hollywood Strip and all. The Walk of Fame, those Walk of Flame, sidewalk, um, sidewalk cubes. You know how like each sidewalk has their own person with their hand gesture on it and stuff. That would be great to see
Right.
that. You know, the
Well,
full turn of Hollywood.
Well, the last time we talked about the possibility of a third division game, you said you want it to take place like in a rural area instead of a metropolis.
Well, what was this? When did I say that?
You said it was on a previous episode.
I remember I saying that I don't mind a rural community to mix in with the. I mean, I do remember saying something where that I don't mind rural community, but I'm more into the city. Want to know first it was New York, then it was Washington D.C. And Washington D.C. is considered to be a city of sorts, even though most of the Washington D.C. consists of office buildings that are no more than 5 floors up. So, so.
Right. Well, anyone that's looking forward to the Division 3 is gonna have to wait. Because the new game coming out is a free-to-play game called X Defiant, made by Ubisoft, and it's going to include aspects. It's going to include things from Splinter Cell, The Division, and Ghost Recon franchises. Basically, there's going to be characters from all three franchises that you can play as in X Defiant.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have the cleaners from the Division. They're gonna have and then they're gonna have outcasts. They're gonna have Echelon, and then they're gonna have healers. So both sides of people from the Division, as well as soldiers from the other two Tom Clancy games. And this new game X Defiant, which is gonna be free to play, from what I heard. It's basically going to be like a third-person shooter, like a Call of Duty or something like that. But every character will have their own strengths and weaknesses depending on which class you pick, and each character will also have their own can have their weapons changed. So if you want to be a cleaner from the Division, but you don't want to use the flamethrowers, you can change out that weapon for a weapon that you would be more happy using in these matchups.
I see. Okay.
Now I know you don't really play online shooters unless it's Halo.
Well, the division is a little bit more of a modern day type of firefight for the civilians at large and stuff, as a simulation of sorts. Halo is more futuristic. There's escapism. There's more special effects involved with the matter to make it more unimaginable, if unfathomable, to more exact. So, the Division is more I can't explain it because, of course, it's really an online shooter. That's what it is, an online shooter. Halo has a campaign and a multiplayer. So, I don't mind playing campaign a lot, but I prefer multiplayer for these type of FPS games. And Division is a third-person shooter, so that's not my shtick or my forte of sorts. But I want to play Division with friends every now and then, like I did with you the other month. So.
Okay, so, well, unfortunately, if anyone was looking forward to the Division 3, they're gonna have to wait, because the people who are making this game said they're not just gonna release the game and then abandon it right afterwards.
Right.
They're gonna keep adding to. They do plan to keep adding to this free-to-play game This and they said there's going to be different modes like capture the flag. There'll even be, I think, different missions you can do like escort missions and stuff. So it sounds like they have a lot of plans for this free-to-play game that's X-Defiant, but we just don't know until they're going to do the testing. I think like the alpha test or the beta test. I think later this week actually.
Wait, there's a private beta going on with Division 3?
Not with the Division 3, with X-Defiant.
Which one? What's it called?
X-Defiant.
What's that?
That's the new shooter that they're making instead of making another Tom. That's the new Tom Clancy game coming out.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like, so maybe the next Division-like player, but it's a spiritual sequel at best.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe I will buy it.
Getting to play as a cleaner would be pretty cool. If you don't like the flamethrower, you could switch the loadout for any other weapon that you like.
Oh yeah.
And they said that every of the 4 classes, I think I got them written down. Let me check my notes. No, I don't have the classes written down. But they said like all 4 classes would have. I know cleaners and healers are 2 of the classes. There was a 3rd class called the Outcast, and then the 4th one, something like Echelon or Lechelon or something. I don't really remember.
Okay.
But every class is also going to have their own strengths and weaknesses. So, you know, based on what character you pick, is going to also dictate how you play. Because like the healers will basically be used for getting information to back up to the rest of your team, like reconnaissance. You know, but like cleaners, that since they got like all the protective gear on, they might be the first guys in to an actual battle.
Is this based on like a civil war or like an apocalypse of sorts?
No, it's just a competitive shooter for people who want to play. Like, because a lot of people spend time now playing Warzone or some other Call of Duty game or Gears of War 4. This is just another one of those third-person shooters that's going to take aspects from different Tom Clancy games to make a multiplayer shooter.
Oh, okay. So there's no story behind it or anything like that in the future, or
No.
Full effect of or full release of the game.
No, nothing
so
like
it's like
that.
Crossfire, that game Crossfire or Cross Gen, something like that. It's called Crossfire most likely, because there's this game called Crossfire that came out like the day of its mentioning, and it's okay to play with friends, but the overall game is very boring. It's not that good, in my perspective. So if they're trying to put it like that with a Crossfire, then I'm not gonna play it. Especially when you want me to pay for it, I'm not gonna buy that shit. And I think they already started selling it at the time for like $20 or $15 for the game for Crossfire. So.
Okay. Yeah. So if it's free to play, because I remember Amazon saying they were working on a game, a shooter, months ago, but we didn't know what it was, and they canceled like 5 of the 6 games they were working on.
Okay.
So apparently this must have been the game this sounds like the game that survived out of 1 out of 6. And this is the game that I heard like people on PC will be able to test it. Like it's supposed to be sometime around August 5th. You know, like they usually have like a few days of testing where players can play and talk to the developers saying, you know, this doesn't work right or whatever. And that's the new game. That's the new Tom Clancy game coming out. Is X-Defiant.
Speaking of X-Defiant's name, if you take the X and it says Defiant, that reminds me of that other third-person MMORPG game called Defiant. You ever played that game before for the 360?
Was it on PS3 also? Because I do remember some game like that.
Yes, I believe it was on the 360 and a PC. 360 PC and PS3.
Yeah, I think I did play. I think I did play it. Let me pull up the cover. Yes, I did play Defiance. I played it a few times actually.
I wonder what happened to that game because I can't play it on the Xbox One. So maybe they still have the servers still playing going on for the 360 players.
Well, it was released in 2013. I don't. That's actually a good question. Maybe the servers have been shut down.
I doubt it because the 360 service is still up for most games. The only games that will be affected this year will be Halo, like the Halo 3.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know when you tried it, but I just Googled it. It said the sci-fi action game Defiance, which tied into the TV show of the same name, is closing down for good. Developer Trion Worlds has announced that the servers for Defiance and Defiance 2050 will close on April 29, 2021.
Oh, so it's been over a couple months ago.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So, yeah, I actually, I'm not someone who plays like MMORPG shooters, but this is one game that Defiance was like one game I played a few times and had fun playing.
Right.
And I'm like, and I think I sold my copy of Defiance when I sold a bunch of games. And I think that's one thing I liked about Defiance. I was able to sell it. I wasn't able to sell DC Universe.
Right.
Because DC Universe, when you create a character, your character, they gave you a code and you could create a character. But the thing is, you couldn't get a code unless you purchased the game new.
Yes.
So that's why I still have DC Universe, although I bet the service for that will still shut down.
Right.
Anyway, next topic. Among Us is coming to Nintendo's free trial system. Have you ever played Among Us?
I should have bought it the other month, but I didn't have the money at the time. So, even though it's $5.
Let's see. It's an online multiplayer social deduction game. So it's kind of like Clue because you're trying to. So it's kind of teamwork and betrayal as you attempt. Hold on.
It's kind of like teaching kids to betray each other on purpose, and that's ridiculous right there. Because I'm not trying to say it's all about that, particularly that, but in my perspective,
one crewmate has been replaced by.
Go on.
Well, let me read this. Play online or local with 4 to 15 players as you attempt to hold your spaceship together and return back to civilization. But beware, as there may be an alien imposter on board. One crewmate has been replaced by a parasitic shapeshifter. Their goal is to eliminate the rest of the crew before the ship reaches home. The imposter will sabotage the ship, sneak through vents, deceive, and frame others to remain anonymous and kill off the crew. While everyone is fixing up the ship, no one can talk to maintain anonymity. Once a body is reported, the surviving crew will openly debate with who they think the imposter is. The imposter's goal is to pretend that they are a member of the crew. If the imposter is not voted off, everyone goes back to maintaining the ship until another body is found. If the imposter is voted off, the crew wins. So, yeah, so I was kind of right. It's kind of like Clue.
I see gameplay of it through like memes and stuff online. Like some YouTube videos will be turned into memes about Among Us, and they'll show gameplay of it. So I have an idea of what they do and such. My other circle of friends, they play Among Us whenever they can, especially the 12-year-olds, 13, 14-year-olds. They're into that type of gameplay game. So it's not my type of game.
Although I've never played it myself. But the news about Among Us is it's coming to Nintendo's free trial system. And this is just baffling because, like you said, Among Us has been available for like $5.
Yeah, it's worth it if you want to.
So why would you put a game that's only that you're only charging $5 for? Why would you put that on a free trial?
Free trial? Wow, I wasn't expecting that.
Nintendo's offering free trials of it, and it's like the game's $5. If someone really cared about it, they would read up on the game, and then they would choose whether or not to spend $5. If they weren't going to spend $5 on it, they're not going to try the free trial either. So but Nintendo decided to add Among Us to their free trial system, and I don't get it. What are you really doing? It would be better off if they were putting like a much more expensive game on the free trial system,
or put it on the Nintendo store. Yeah, to get rights to it and sell it for like $7 or something like that, or make it more expensive, not too more expensive, but get the idea that people are willing to pay extra bucks for it to be put on a console. So
yeah, so Nintendo. So it's not like a bad move, if anything. It's just like a confusing move. Like, why would you do that why would you do that for a game that's not going to bring in such a big revenue?
Maybe they're trying to take a risk in getting more players to come onto their system, because when you think of Nintendo Switch, you think of like guys over 30 years old who've been like long loyal buyers and gamers of the system or of the product of Nintendo. And we read up books like Game Over, with David Schiff as the author, talk about the history of Nintendo and all. So it's like we are willing to spend $7, $8, $9, $10 for Among Us on Nintendo Switch if we want to. That's if they can make it like that, rather than the trial version. So if they hear this, Nintendo somehow, some way, they should put in something like that rather than put in free trial, because it's gonna make people of the PC pissed off, because they'll be like, oh man, I should have gone down the Switch. You know what I'm saying? Oh sure,
right.
Oh sure. Among Us goes back 3-4 years ago now. It's been out for 4 years at most. But in the last year,
longer than that actually.
And it started to become popular for the last year and a half now, if not for at least at most a year. So it's all about at the right place, the right time. And this trial version is kind of like you're playing that iffy game. It's like you're worried, you wonder to yourself if it's going to work out or not as a seller, and you take a risk for it. So if it's worth it, it's worth it. If not, they learned their lesson.
Okay. Yeah. So again, if you wanted to try out Among Us, and you have a Nintendo Switch, it's Nintendo's offering a free trial of the game, and you can try it for free if you have been hesitant on pulling the switch or pulling the trigger on playing Among Us.
Oh yeah.
Another game. Did you hear about a game being called Abandoned?
I'm not sure. Never heard of it really.
Well, there was this game that's called Abandoned, being created, and some people, I think Blue Box Studios is behind it, and apparently they're calling it Abandoned might actually turn out to be Metal Gear Solid 6.
A game called Metal Gear Solid 6? What?
Yeah, Abandoned in quotation marks may in fact be a new Metal Gear game. Industry insider Anton Logmanov claims Abandoned is actually Metal Gear Solid 6.
Interesting.
I'll read what the article said. I just looked up this like 10 minutes before I came on here. Russian gaming journalist and reputed industry insider Anton Logmanov says that the Blue Box Studios Abandoned is actually a new entry in the beloved Metal Gear series, and not just another spin-off like Metal Gear Rising or Metal Gear Survive, but a new mainline entry in the series with Metal Gear Solid 6, or a remake, being worked on by none other than Konami themselves. Longmedov would revealed in a tweet a few hours ago saying that Abandon looks like no MGS6. Well, that is, Konami is working on it. I've known this for a long time, and apparently someone decided to imitate Kojima's marketing. He ends the tweet by saying, so Grandpa will be canceled, but a reunion is better, of course, which is most likely an error in translation. He then proceeds to mention a possibility of a remake, saying, well, for the announcement of a remake. While it would be safe to bet that to take this with a grain of salt, it needs to be said that Longmedov has a very good history when it comes to insider information, not only confirming the PC ports of Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding way ahead of time, but also bringing up a possible Bloodborne remaster in the future for PS5 and PC, which, while not completely accurate so far, does fall in line with the fact that Sony has started doing re-releases of last-gen titles, starting with Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding Director's Cut, and not to mention a Bloodborne remaster has been brought up by various other leakers. Blue Box Studios have also been tweeting about the game Abandoned for months now, with many assuming that the studio is actually a fake one by Hideo Kojima himself, who is playing with gamers yet again. The assumptions haven't been unfounded either, considering the frankly absurd amounts of coincidences that have followed Blue Box Studios, to the extent where the owner of the studio and the director behind Abandon, Hassan Karaman, had to upload a video of himself apologizing for all the misunderstandings. This entire debacle has reached a burning point, with Blue Box Studios uploading an image for their incoming trailer app with a blurred picture of a man with an eye patch in the background, which looks eerie similar to the eye patch Big Boss Naked Snake wears in the Metal Gear games. While all this does sound too good to be true, it can't be denied that there are too many coincidences and too many things that align together perfectly for now. However, all we can do is wait till on August 10th, when the trailer for Abandoned will be shown, and we'll finally see its true identity after an insanely long period of rumors and speculation.
Now, with this Abandoned video game, it's Kojima's behind it? I thought Kojima didn't have rights to Metal Gear, so I have to leave it Konami.
Hideo Kojima, he's not in Konami anymore, but he has been working on games himself.
But he doesn't have rights to Metal Gear Solid, though, or Metal Gear at all to begin with.
That's true, but also after Metal Gear Survive and the debacle that was, maybe the trademark had ran out, and Kojima picked it up. That could be it.
He bought it himself. That'd be interesting. He had a
I'm just saying.
Because if he tried, because if Kojima tried to create a Metal Gear game, even though it's a different title, the Konami's going to sue Kojima for that similar properties. So they say that, Abandon looks like Metal Gear Solid 5, 4, and 3, etc., etc., and we should have rights to that video, or proceeds to that video game, etc., etc. So they're gonna take him to court, Kojima, that is, you know.
Yeah. Well, we just don't know. Like I said, we just don't know. Is this gonna be, is this a new Metal Gear Solid game? Is it just a bunch of rumors that turn out to be that mean nothing? Unfortunately, we're not going to know till August 10th. Mm-hmm. But I think if it turns out to be just rumors, a lot of people are going to be upset.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to be upset.
I hope the upset part will be more towards the game owners or the franchise owners, between Kojima and Konami at best. While we fans will be like, oh my god, a Metal Gear like game, something like that. Hopefully it's not going to be as worse as Survive, but we'll never know until we see the trailer. And I hope the trailer, eventually will tell some tales of what's going on.
Yeah, but I mean, a blurry vision of a man wearing the eye patch that Big Boss or Naked Snake wore in like Metal Gear Solid 5. Or maybe Metal Gear Solid. Well, I don't know about Metal Gear Solid 3. I know. Big Boss lost his eye in that game, and I think he started off 5 in the Phantom Pain with the eye patch.
Oh no! In
Um,
Metal Gear Solid 3, he had the eye patch since he got shot by Ocelot in the eye during the torture by mistake.
right. Oh no, no. I
Sorry for the
remember now.
spoiler.
Snake was Big Boss was being held like tied up by his arms, and like they pulled out like a sword. I think they were gonna kill Eva, and like he swung himself in front of the sword when they swung, and they took out Big Boss's eye.
Or actually, if I recall correctly, it was a combat knife by the boss, the female boss, and
Right.
she was about to go slowly to Mistake's eye. Eva stopped her in the process. Ocelot gave her a Russian roulette type of chance of where he's going to shoot his gun 6 times in a row with six chambers, if you recall correctly. Like that juggling of the gun and stuff with 6 times. That's what's going to do to Eva. And on the last shot, Snake saw that actual shot coming towards Eva, so he got out of the way and pushed towards Ocelot, and Ocelot shot the actual shot into Snake's eye by mistake, and Snake starts screaming like hell.
Let's let me let
That's the truth.
um,
If you haven't played it in a while, I understand. So
I played it once all the way through.
I
But the
played at
thing
least
is,
3 or 4 times.
why don't we pull up the clip and then we can watch it?
Look, James, I understand you don't believe me all the
And I'll put
time.
it.
Look, hold on a second. Hold on about the recording and stuff like that. Look, I mean, every time I try to talk to you about certain things, you don't believe me, knowing that I actually played the game myself. What's up with you, man?
I'm just saying, I just don't remember. You might be right, but the thing is, we both remember different things.
How's that possible? Because I played the game, I own the game for how many years? I still have it to this day. You're telling me that every time we're in a conversation about memorizing a game from like 10, 20 years ago, I'm considered to be the wrong person all the time?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I'm saying I don't remember, honestly.
Well,
But I
that's
just
you. That's you on your part. But as far as me on my part, I'm actually trying to help you out, trying to help you understand where I come from. And the audience should understand that too. So it's like every time for how many times we go through this, where it's like, oh, we have to go back and see about this thing, go back to see about that thing. But then it comes out 99, not 99% of the time, but at least 7, 8, 9 out of 10 times I'm mainly right. You know.
Okay, okay.
But if you want
You
to
know
see the
what?
clip, but if you want to see the clip,
I was actually just gonna show the clip so we could watch it, because I thought people who didn't remember would find it entertaining. But I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying I really don't remember.
okay. All right. So if you
But
want to
if
play it, that's fine.
but if you want to just but if you just want to move on, we can do that too.
No, let's play the clips to make sure I'm right. If you really want to have the audience to see what I'm talking about.
Okay. Let me pull it back up.
I actually have a clip of it saved on my playlist. I wish I could share it with you right away, but it's gonna take me a while to look for it.
Oh, okay. I'll pull it up on OBS first, and then I'll pull it up on Discord as well, so we can see it as it happens.
Oh, Torture Cinematic Gameplay. Here it is.
Share your screen. Here we go.
Here's the one I found out about as a refresher.
Do you see it on Discord?
Not quite yet. It's still showing. Yeah, now I see it.
Okay, I'm gonna enlarge the screen so it's full screen, and then we'll watch it.
Of course.
Alright, here goes.
The 3 revolvers.
Right.
This is the judge. Do as you like. Here we go.
I don't remember that.
Still memorize it to this day. Snake starts pushing on Slot.
Oh, it was a gun.
And you hear Snake like scream like hell.
There, satisfied now?
Oh.
Okay, it's worth it. Just like how I remembered it. Except for when
Just like how you remembered. I don't know why I thought it was a sword.
it was a combat knife on Boris. He was about to stab Snake slowly into his eye, but Eva stopped him, obviously.
Oh, so I must be remembering a different part of the game.
Yes, Eva stopped the boss, from stabbing Snake into the eye, so...
And that must have been what blew her cover.
Oh no, they didn't blow her cover at all. She actually, Eva saved the boss's, not reckless act, but the boss was further damaged the situation, because the boss is supposed to be the defector to the Soviet Union, and the original plan went backfire on the United States government. So the boss had to play the evil villain to transfer to the Soviet Union. And Snake had to kill the boss, which is the Naked Snake, aka Big Boss. He had to kill her, to save the planet or save the world, wherever. So
I watched the ending to Metal Gear Solid 3 on YouTube, about a month ago, maybe a little longer than that. And I do remember the boss basically. The U.S. wanted her to defect, and they wanted Snake to be the one to kill her.
But here's the thing, though. Originally, supposed to be the boss to defect to the Soviet Union, take out and dismantle the government, and come back as a hero. If you want to reinterpret it in a sense, because that was the original plan. But since Colonel Vogan shot that recoilless nuclear warhead, David Crockett, it just fucked up everything, because she gave the nuclear warhead to the boss. I mean, to the Colonel Vogan. Excuse me. The boss gave it to the Colonel Vogan.
Right. That I remember, and then I think the Colonel and everyone working with Big Boss. Or the person that would become Big Boss, Naked Snake, had a week to prove that they weren't working with Big Boss and Bogan, and they had a week. I think JFK gave them a week to handle this issue.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And then Eva says in a message at the end of the game, she defected because the United States wanted her to defect.
Mm-hmm.
When the Big Boss says, "How far are you willing to go for your country?"
Mm.
And it turns out Big Boss was willing to. It turns out the female boss, was willing to go as far as they wanted her, even willing to turn on it for the country,
and to sabotage her reputation as well as her life.
Exactly. Yep.
For the extent of for true resolution behind the matter. So.
Right. So. Yeah, so since we're talking about the game, Metal Gear Solid 3, what did you think of Metal Gear Solid 3? Did you like it more than 1 and 2? Less than 1 and 2?
Well, it's a very story-driven game. Has lots of cutscenes, but the cutscenes are not as, lopsided. You play back and forth, you watch for 2 minutes worth of cutscenes, and you play for 10 minutes or 15, 20 minutes, and then at the end of the game, where the last 2 or 3 hours, you start to see more and more cutscenes. But you still play as much as the game itself. So they almost balance out the cutscene and the gameplay. And while Metal Gear Solid 2 and 1, well, it's like a lopsided, you feel you played it less than watching. So, it's a hit and miss. But I still like the trilogy.
I felt Metal Gear Solid 1 was the perfect balance, but then again, that might have been because, I never played the Metal Gear games on Nintendo. I didn't even know they existed until much later.
Yeah.
So my first experience with Metal Gear Solid was the first Metal Gear Solid game, and I guess I was amazed by the cutscenes, maybe I was impressed, but I felt like Metal Gear Solid had the perfect balance, believe it or not, between cutscenes and gameplay.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid 2, on the other hand, I feel went completely overboard with cutscenes.
Oh yeah, it's like watching a movie.
Yeah. I actually, the 30-minute cutscene that plays when you finish Anchor and you go to the plant mission.
Oh yes, I've seen that one.
I actually, one time I was playing that for like the 500th time, and like I actually fell asleep during the beginning of that cutscene and woke up before that cutscene was over.
So that's like a 15-minute cutscene right there.
I think it's longer than that. I think it's like 30 minutes, if not.
That's too long.
Yeah,
that's Metal Gear Solid 4.
It's too long to switch per mission. That's why, like, if you wanted to watch, like, in the first Metal Gear Solid, if you wanted to watch all the videos that explain that, you could go into the briefing section and choose to watch those videos. They didn't just say, okay, you played 30 minutes of the game, watch this 1-hour cutscene explaining the next mission.
If I recall correctly, too, Metal Gear Solid 4, for what reviewers saying, had a lot of cutscenes that were very long, especially at the very end of the game. Like the longest cutscene they had was about 40 minutes long at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4. Yeah.
A single cutscene?
That's what they said. Some of these players I read their reviews on.
Okay, I never got far in Metal Gear Solid 4, so I wouldn't know. Again, I just
I've always wanted to play the game, but I don't have a PS3.
I don't even think I have Metal Gear Solid. I know.
You still have your PS3?
I still have my PS3. I just don't have Metal Gear Solid 4.
You should get it before it's too late, though. Before it goes up in price greatly.
Too late? How much could Metal Gear Solid 4 be going for?
Well, you never know.
Let's see.
On Amazon, it should be about like $100 for brand new.
I'll check so we're not just speculating. Metal Gear Solid 4, according to price charting, it's like $5 whether you want to get it loose or complete. Let's check. Let's see. eBay. Yeah, even brand new pre-owned copies are going for $2.99 on eBay. Amazon, let me check.
It's It's $25 on Amazon. That's not bad.
That has to be brand new though, because like I got this Amazon thing that popped up on the side once I visited it, and it's like $5.86 very good, $2 acceptable, $2 acceptable, $2 very good, $6 acceptable. Yeah, the 25 that you see is brand new. So yeah, let's see if it's even in stock on GameStop. I doubt it. Not available at GameStop. Not a surprise. So yeah, so I could always get it, but the thing is, like I got in stuff and I tried to figure out, where I was supposed to go. And I haven't, so I just don't want to buy the game again just to get stuck and give up on it again. But the good thing is, it's so cheap. If I ever do, want to play it again, it's not gonna break. I don't have to break the bank to go after the game.
Right.
So, yeah. So let's see. That was Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3. That's all the Metal Gear Solid games I played. Snake's Revenge and Metal Gear don't count because they were Nintendo games, so they really don't have cutscenes. And I haven't played anything else past 4.
Watch, within the next 5-10 years, it's gonna go up greatly in price. I want to buy it like this weekend next week.
What do you think it's gonna go up in price?
Metal Gear Solid 4, rather than
You think
$25
so?
brand new, it's gonna be like $100, $150.
Maybe thanks to inflation, but
Not well. That's a factor, yes, but also the scarcity of the item, especially if it's brand new.
brand new, yeah, because copies are going for like I said, $25 on Amazon.
Which is cheap,
Right.
by the way, $24 for that game. That game been out for
Yeah, yeah.
only been out for
It's
15
even-
years.
It's even cheaper on eBay. It's like $17, $18 brand new on eBay.
Free shipping, or we got to pay, or it's plus shipping?
I think plus shipping.
It's still the same price technically. As a seller, as a buyer, you're still buying the same type of product. So
Yeah. But the thing is, you would have brand new. The most $12.99 plus $4.85 shipping for brand new or best offer.
okay, not
so,
bad.
So you really think those games are gonna go? You really think a game like Metal Gear Solid 4 is gonna shoot up in price?
At least within 5 years, because we have to remember, was it PS5 just came out? Not that many games came
Right.
out with it just yet. So by the time things catch up after COVID, because what happened is that there's a shortage on certain parts for the PS5. So after that's over with and everything's restocked up again, back to normalcy, by 2025, the earliest, 2026, I should say, we should see something like a price increase, a great price increase, hopefully up to at least $50.
Okay. I just don't. I just also, but you also gotta wonder how much. With the greatest hits version available, that's what I was looking at
Yes.
on eBay and Amazon.
Yes.
You might be right if you're talking about a brand new, never before opened version of the first print. Not the greatest hits version that has the red label, the original label.
What's the difference?
Well, greatest hits basically was just like a second print,
I see.
because they sold so many copies, so they said, okay, listen, we can make more money if we make more copies, and that's why so many games that have like greatest hits on Xbox 360, it's called platinum hits.
Right. Like the Fear game.
And I think those are just basically second. I just think those are second releases, because like a lot of collectors that are like die-hard collectors, they don't want greatest hits. They don't want platinum hits in their collection. They want the authentic first one video games. I think even Alpha Omega Sin has said this once in a video. I forget which one it was, but he's like, look at my PS3 collection. You won't see one red label on my shelf.
Okay. That's interesting.
If he ever hears this, I miss you, Alpha Omega Sin. I wish you were making videos like you were back 5-6 years ago more frequently.
He still has his videos uploaded on his channel, so it's a good thing. So he may come back once in a blue moon just to speak about what's going on.
Yeah, so
Hopefully he'll talk about
anyway.
COVID-19 with the video game industry, because he has to have stories by now about the matter. Because he's a big YouTuber, even though he hasn't been making videos for the last at least 3 years now. So
right. Hold on, I think my name was being called. One moment. Okay, I'm back.
alright.
So yeah, I mean that would be. I've actually left him a message, I think, through YouTube, Alpha Omega Sin, to come on the podcast. Of course, this is when he was using YouTube like maybe once, when he was uploading very infrequently. So,
When was the last time you talked to him?
And he never got back to me. So,
When was the last time you talked to him or tried to talk to him?
when I invited him to come on the podcast, which was I don't even remember.
March.
It was probably sometime this year.
Okay, so he's definitely not around. He's on Twitter a lot.
Yeah.
He's on Twitter a lot for many years.
Yeah, so maybe I forget if I messaged him on Twitter or messaged him through YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I guess we'll go on from Metal Gear Solid 6, or the possibility of Metal Gear Solid 6.
Definitely.
Nintendo is shutting down electronic payments for the Wii U and 3DS shop in January of 2022 in Japan for now. Stores will stop accepting game submissions after April of 2022. So what that means is in Japan, starting in January, if you want to add money to your Nintendo account, you have to buy those Nintendo eShop cards. You can't do it from your debit card or your PayPal account.
Oh, so it's like the Xbox back in the day where it's like you buy, rather than using money, you use points to just trade in for the money.
Right, but they got like these eShop cards. I've seen them at a store near me, like $20 card, and you buy that card, you use the code, and then it credits your money to your account. The thing is, with them not allowing people to pay money in Japan at January, and then they're going to stop accepting games in April to be featured on their Wii U store and the 3DS store, that means they might be shutting down the stores. It might not just be a Japan thing. Japan might be the first one to shut it down, but the Wii U Virtual Console could be and 3DS Virtual Console could be going away.
Yeah.
And the United States might follow suit afterwards.
That would suck.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start searching once a week on Wii U. Just look at the Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games, Game Boy Advance, and just start buying the games that I want. That are expensive. I'm not gonna. Why would I buy Life Force for $5, say, when I can buy the cartridge for not much more? But the games like the Donkey Kong Country trilogy, I already have Mario RPG. Get those games so when Wii U does shut down the Virtual Console, I already got the games that they were offering that I wanted.
Right. If I recall correctly, the RPG Mario game, I think I've been right now. It costs at least $100 to buy it brand new. Not even, so probably even more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Even if you just get the cartridge, it's expensive.
Yes.
I mean, you think I don't know if it's as expensive as Super Mario All Stars, but Super Mario RPG, I think it's $40-$50. Oh no, it's gone up since the last time I checked. Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, yep.
$95, that's right.
It's it's almost $80 loose.
I better buy this baby.
You should buy this game brand new. Imagine, guess how much that costs?
I don't know how much.
$3,193.37.
Where's this at?
That's what it says on price charting.
Oh wow! Oh, you saw it on your screen. Oh, that's good.
Let's go to Amazon, see what brand
$95. I was right about it for $100.
Yeah. Last I checked, Super Mario All Stars for Super Nintendo wasn't that much. Let's see what, according to price charting, what Super Mario All Stars is worth.
I have the cartridge version for the SNES.
How is that possible?
$540
For a graded price? How is it $15?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Huh?
That's what I want to know. That shit costs more than that.
Because the last I checked, this was, unless it's I wouldn't say bootleg, but
I still have mine after 25 plus years, so.
Yeah, and I got my copy for the Wii U, so. Oh, but I go to Amazon and it says used price is $45.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check eBay for eBay doesn't even have it. Okay, that's wonderful. So, yeah, I mean, price charting, I think they're wrong, because what are they basing this on? Well, I know they base it on
supply and demand as well.
Well, they base it on previous sales, but I'm just reading used from $23.99 and free shipping. So $44.99 is not the cheapest.
And that's not bad for
people selling it acceptable and very good between $19 to $25. Okay, so I'm surprised our Super Mario All-Stars went down in value so much.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I wasn't gonna buy it either because I have the 25th anniversary on the Wii.
Yes.
So, which is just as good. But yeah, so if anyone is planning to buy games on the Wii U Virtual Console or the 3DS Virtual Console, I would suggest you add your funds to your to the Virtual Console wallet and buy them now, so you don't miss out.
Oh yeah.
You know, I might do that with Spyro the Dragon on PS3. If I can figure out how to save my games on the PS3 console, save game data from my PS1 classics on the PS3, I might get like the original Spyro because.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a keeper to have in the future.
Right, even if it's digital, you know, you can still play it, you know. When I moved down to Georgia, one game I played a lot on my PSP was the original Medieval on PlayStation.
I've always wanted to get that game for the PS1, but after how many decades later? Because I have the demo version that I got from EB Games, through my mom as a gift for part of the PlayStation package, and it was a very good game I played. After a while, I started to get better at it. But I heard, of course, I had to have the remastered version, so they might get the remastered version first.
You can get the remastered version if you want, although it's going to be more expensive. I think it's actually asking like a full $60 price. When you can get the original for PlayStation complete for $40. But I would just get the original because you don't know what they did to the remastered that the original might have had.
Right.
Because I found out in the PSP version called Medieval Resurrection, there was supposed to be a copy of the first game on PlayStation. The thing is, they changed the voice of Daniel Fortescue, who's the main protagonist. They changed his voice. And some of the levels from the PlayStation version were taken out of the PSP version. Which is why, if you want to get Medieval, you know what, and you have a PSP, you know what, and the PS3, obviously, buy the PS1 version of Medieval, download it to your PSP, you'll be good to go.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, I know you don't have a PS3, so you would probably just have to buy the game from a second-hand seller.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, though. You said you had the demo of Medieval?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember what was the last level before the demo stops?
It was just this one level only. But if you try to keep playing, if you stop playing for several seconds, it will go back to the demo main screen. So I never got a chance to really get past the first level in order to see. You know?
Because I had sorry to cut you off. I had a Medieval demo myself, like a couple demos, and one demo I had the first 3 levels in it.
Mm-hmm.
But that also happened with me. Every demo disc I had, like when you stop playing, so you got paused to use the bathroom, you come back out and you're at the demo select screen. Like, wait a minute, I was in the middle of a game.
Yeah, they do that to you every now and then.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you're not going. You gotta make sure you're not going to the bathroom for too long.
Yes.
Is it number one? No. Then it's got a hold. All right. So anyway, new Switch games were available for people who have the Switch online service. They added 3 Super Nintendo games and 1 regular Nintendo game. The Nintendo game they added was Super Mario Bros. 3 Special Edition.
Okay. Okay.
Super Mario Bros. 3 Special Edition starts you out at World 8. You have 35 lives. They give you a bunch of raccoon, the feathers that gave Mario the tail so he could fly. They basically they start you out on World 8 and you got a whole bunch of lives and a whole bunch of stuff in your inventory that you can start with. That's, and honestly, that's the only valuable thing on this list. The other games they offered were Playmates, Kablooey, and Jelly Boy.
Jelly Boy. What is Jelly Boy? I never heard that game before.
You know that game?
I never heard that game before.
Yeah, I never heard of any of these 3 games. It kind of looked like, if I'm not mistaken, I might be confusing it with Playmates. But one of the games was you could change into different colors, and if you had a different color, if you were a different breed, depending on what color you were, you had different abilities that you could get through the level. But yeah, I mean, this is what people are paying for the Nintendo Online service, for the ability to play Playmates and Jelly Boy. Wow, Beavis and Butthead would have a field day with that name. Okay,
I can't do the Beavis and Butthead. I can't do the Beavis and Butthead laugh.
Tobacco abuse.
I gotta see Beavis and Butthead originals from the 1990s.
They were. You could probably find them on YouTube.
There's this one website. I don't want to mention it publicly because it might affect the exposure of the website. But it's this website that has all sorts of animation-related series, ranging from anime, TV shows like The Simpsons, South Park, Family Guy, American Dad, you name it. They have all of it. So if they have that, they have Beavis and Butthead too, most likely.
Yeah, well, when I first moved down to Georgia, I was in, I think, Walmart, and I found the DVD. It was the entire collection of Beavis and Butthead, all the old episodes, all the episodes from 2011, and the movie on DVD.
In one package?
Yep.
Holy shit! Isn't that something?
So the only thing that sucks, but I'm pretty sure this is with all store releases, is they don't sell Beavis and Butthead commenting on the music videos. It's just the adventure part of the episodes.
Okay.
But obviously, they can't sell something with Beavis and Butthead talking over a Snoop Dogg music video. They actually covered a Snoop Dogg music video in one episode, and I'm sure MTV or Snoop Dogg or somebody would have a field day with lawsuits if
Snoop
somebody
Dogg
was making money off that, even if it had Beavis and Butthead providing commentary.
Well, Snoop Dogg should be that kind of an asshole like other rappers would be, especially the underground rappers. They'll be very picky as well as stingy of having rights to that content. So if you play their music and commentate on it, they'll still claim it on your YouTube channel or file a lawsuit for the matter towards you. And I really hate those type of rappers. And Snoop Dogg I'm not saying I never heard of him before, I never met him before, but there are times where Snoop Dogg is just cool as a cat. Like, he's not gonna attack you because you play his music on your channel or on some other website on the internet, you know, because it's free advertisement. And as long as you mention his name, Snoop Dogg, you know.
Well, it might, even if Snoop Dogg didn't have a problem with it personally, I think what would be the problem is that you're making money involving something he made. So, like, his manager would want to cut a bet, or his company that represents him would either A, want to cut, or B, say, no, you're not selling anything that has my client's likeness or image unless we get a deal.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, so, like, I even have Beavis and Butthead episodes on VHS tape that Kevin actually purchased for me as a gift. And same thing, the music videos that Beavis and Butthead comment on were not on that VHS tape either. It was just the other part where Beavis and Butthead are out having an adventure of some kind.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only thing that sucks about that is I love, like, when Butthead would slap Beavis back and forth repeatedly. That usually happened when they were watching music videos and Beavis said something stupid. So, you know, the only time I'm going to see that is if some station replays an episode.
Dude, they're going to have a second revival quarter 3 of 2021, Beavis and Butthead. I just researched them just now.
I actually knew about the revival. I don't, hopefully it'll go better than the Comedy Central, not Comedy Central.
The 2011 reboot.
It's going to be on Comedy Central this time, but they had a revival in 2011 that died 3 months later.
Yeah, very quickly, surprisingly.
Yeah, well, I was paying attention to the ratings. When Beavis and Butthead came back in 2011, their premiere episode got like a 3 in the ratings. By the time their final episode of the season aired, they were pulling down 0.5.
Damn, that's because most of the people died or moved on from.
That's 5-6 of your audience saying bye-bye.
Because most of them died already from the 90s, and the ones that are still alive to this day, they either moved on or they never heard of it until like after the fact, and it's too late.
Oh,
so.
Who died?
Well, the fan base. Most of the fan base back then.
The fan base was like in the 90s. The fan base was either like me, or like me, who was a kid in the mid 90s and early 90s, or they may be a little older, which would mean they're maybe in their 40s.
Yeah, but remember back during the day, MTV was considered to be like the devil's TV. So it's like few people watch MTV that are into that type of stuff, like you and I are. Like Beavis and Butthead, South Park, later Family Guy, you know.
Well, I don't think that happened with. I actually did an article on this. A lot of things I think what killed the interest in 2011. Now I like this, but I think a lot of people hated it. Beavis and Butthead in 2011, they just didn't watch music videos. Sometimes they'd be watching like Jersey Shore instead.
Yes, it's less copyright.
No, not even that. Because they were on MTV, so they had the right to use other MTV shows. But the thing is, people who were big fans in the 90s, you know, like maybe 5-10 years older than us, they didn't want to see Beavis and Butthead watching Jersey Shore or something. They wanted to see the Beavis and Butthead they remember commenting on music videos.
Something like Michael Jackson, at least.
Maybe not that old, but you know, like also like Beavis and Butthead still wore Metallica and AC/DC on their shirts.
Because Michael Jackson. Because Michael Jackson came out with an album around the same time 2 years after his death. Because not literally Michael Jackson, but the people behind making his music, because they had unreleases for the 90s. They put it back onto like 2012, 2013, give or take 2011. So.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's called Escape, the album. She's a slave to the rhythm, a slave to the rhythm.
Why does that song sound familiar?
It's from the 90s, that's why it was unreleased.
You know, they also have rumors that Tupac didn't die and that he was working on his last album while under a fake name.
I mean, it's possible that what happened was that he must have wrote the lyrics, but in order to revive his music after his death, you might have like some sort of special recorder that like amplifies his voice. Because think about this: the technology of today, they can literally take a dead actor's face and put it on the big screen months later, like they did with Carrie Fisher in Star Wars Episode 9. That's what they did.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because Carrie, she's supposed to die in Episode 8, but they kept her alive for Episode 9. I don't get that, but anyway, that's what happened.
Well, on YouTube, if you search for it, like someone was claiming to have like seen Tupac, and like he's like Tupac's been it's like right around this corner, and like you saw like a bunch of guys talking, and like when the guy with the camera that did the YouTube video was noticed, they called him out like, "Hey, you bring that camera over here." And they're saying that's how Tupac worked on like his Resurrection album, because like he was under a different name. So they got conspiracy stories like that also.
That's gotta be like some like first eyewitness testimony right there. Someone has to be alive for that right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if Tupac's really dead or not, but you know.
But he's not too old if he's still alive, so.
Well, I don't think he died in natural causes. I'm saying he apparently someone was out to get him, and.
Oh yeah, he got shot first. First, he got shot about at least 3-4 times, and he survived that. And then months, if not years later, around 95, 96, then he died from like some sort of drug overdose or some sort of it was like an inside job type of thing. That's what I heard.
Yeah, and then if you want to bring the Illuminati into it, 10 years later, there are sights of him in California working on a new album.
It's like with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, like, he had a painting of children around him acting like angels, like he's like the angel of God or some shit like that, like the head angel or whatever. The Amazing Atheist showed it on his channel many years ago, back in like 2015, 2014.
Oh, wow.
I wish I could find that specific video, but basically Michael Jackson, even though he's dead, he will always be alive in everyone's eyes that before his death. Anywhere before his death, they'll bring him to life for the rest of his life, for the rest of eternity. Yeah. As long as we keep reviving, sharing the newer generation of Michael Jackson, Tupac, Biggie Smalls, fucking Notorious Big, you know, those guys.
Yeah.
You know? They'll still be alive. That's why you still think they're still alive, because of their music. That's that good.
Well, that's what actually it's what you talked about at first is not so uncommon when you said they had like recordings of different songs that were unreleased. Proof from D12 was killed, and I heard they would D12 was thinking about releasing a new CD together, and they had like a bunch of Proof songs that never made it out there that they were going to use to release another album together.
Oh, okay.
I don't know whatever happened with that, because at the same time I heard before this, D12 was going their own ways to focus on their individual careers, but you know, and then I lost any admiration I had for Eminem, so.
Well, what happened to Eminem? Why you don't like him anymore? If I may ask.
Basically, don't you remember when he said that, like, basically he told people that voted for Trump, if you're a fan of me, I don't want you as a fan.
Oh, so you're like forget about respecting Trump. Everyone can respect Trump, but you like Trump in your perspective.
Yeah, I like Trump. I even voted for him in the 2020 election, and you know what? You don't want me as a fan for that? Fine.
Yeah, that sucks.
And Eminem actually said that. He said if you're a fan of mine and you voted for Trump, I don't want you as a fan anymore.
Yeah, he lost 50% of his fan base already.
Yeah. So
because he said at the end,
good job with your career suicide, dummy.
He said, but we hate Trump. He said it with emphasis. He just went down to the fucking pavement and said, "But we hate Trump."
And then the same people that Eminem was trying to pander to, I saw this on a YouTube video. The same people that Eminem was trying to pander to wanted him canceled.
The same people.
It's like, okay, Eminem has faced this before, but the thing is, that was when he had his fan base behind him that was willing to do almost anything for him. But how many of those fans did he chase off when he said he didn't want Trump voters in his fan base?
Man,
and
that
now
sucks.
the other side wants Eminem canceled.
Man, that fucking sucks.
Maybe you know what? It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. That's the way I think of it. Moving on.
Because you used to love Eminem. We go over to your house and still like watch D12's music video and Eminem's the Superman music video that showed you with all the nice good looking woman in it having weird moments.
Yeah, I still got the 8-mile DVD in my video cabinet.
That was pretty weird for Eminem to have all those girls like smother all of him and such like that.
Yeah.
That was like, what the hell? I was like, that's a good thing for him. I wish I was in that position.
I used to have all of Eminem's songs on my iPod and everything, and not anymore.
Man, that sucks, Jay. That sucks, Triple J, man.
Hey, if that's what he wants, that's what he wants. That's what he wants. You know.
Because no one's into Eminem like he was back 15, 20 years ago with his 2002 album, The Eminem Show.
Right.
Yeah, like Marshall, something like that. And there's also, I think my dad gone crazy.
Yeah, that was the Eminem Show.
Daddy, what you doing? He's sniffing coke. He's sniffing coke.
When it comes to rap artists or musical artists, I purchase more Eminem CDs than I have of anyone else. I purchased the Marshall Mathers LP, the Slim Shady LP, the Eminem Show. I purchased We Up, which he released in 2006. I purchased Recovery, which he released like in 2012.
That's his declination.
The only one I may have gotten tracks for in a way I shouldn't have was Encore.
Oh, okay. Because back at the late, no, not late 10, not Kamikaze, it's the other album, the album where it came out back in 2014, 2015. Dude, he was horrible in that rapping. Like, I know that you're not a big Eminem fan anymore,
yeah.
but you know.
I didn't actually hear the album myself, but I heard about it, and I heard like people were saying like Eminem fell off or.
He's just talking. Like he talks to. He's just like. It's just. I can't explain it. He's talking and rapping at the same time. He doesn't feel it up to it. I can tell in his voice he doesn't like it. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like to do it in the music back then.
And you know what? If he doesn't want to do it anymore, why do it? He's made his money.
It's funny. It's just that like his Rap God song was good back in 2013, Well, by 2014, 2015, the other album, it was like one of those collage albums with other rappers and such. That was the fucked up one, because he didn't rap like he wanted to, you know.
He was doing it like he felt like he was forced to.
Yeah, like he was a paycheck to him, and that's it.
Okay, yeah, I've heard some new songs from him. Like River was pretty good. There was a song where he made up with his mother. I forget which one that was.
I'm sorry,
And
Mama.
those
Take care of
music
my
videos,
closet.
I didn't hear the song. I watched the music video, which obviously has the song play.
Okay.
And those were pretty good. But, you know, like, as far as, like, checking out the whole CD, I didn't do that. Recovery is the last CD I ever heard all the way through.
Okay. All right.
So,
If you have
but
the heart.
I did hear that Eminem released another album, and that it was basically everyone hated it.
If you have the heart in you, James, to forgive him for just one listen of each song in the album, of whatever his music is in the album, Eminem's music in the album, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll be like, God damn, I turned my back on this guy, and he became like a wash up.
If someone put the songs on YouTube, maybe I'll check them out.
Oh
later.
yeah, it's there. It's there. Everything's for free on YouTube. Just make sure you don't.
Yeah.
Just make sure you don't fucking like sell it.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, it's funny. Other rap artists have had that. I don't know if they had the motivation problem, but like if you look at 50 Cent, his first two CDs were pretty good, but his last two CDs I heard were so bad that 50 Cent quit rapping.
And that's why he's doing other
Get Rich
things.
or Die Trying came out when we were both still in high school.
Yeah, that's when I had my first date. We went to see it
That sold
together.
like
Movies.
that sold like over 9 million copies.
God damn.
The Massacre, which came out like right before we graduated, only sold like 5.1 million copies.
That's still not bad.
And then the next two CDs of 50 Cent, I don't know their names, I heard they sold considerably a lot less.
Oh shit.
And then after the third and fourth album, 50 Cent quit and went to being, I think he wants to be like a producer, a TV producer. He was working on a show for nighttime, like on CBS or NBC. I saw that it said like executive producer 50 Cent.
I see.
It was some advertisement for some like nighttime drama, and I don't think he's returned for rap since. But you know what? Hey, you know, you gotta strike while the iron's hot.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, we were talking about Nintendo games that were available for people who pay for Nintendo's online service. Dr. Games 101 and myself pay for the Games with Gold online service, and these are the games that will be able to download. It should be starting tomorrow. On the Xbox One side, it'll be Darksiders 3. Did you ever play Darksiders 1 or 2?
I have the remaster for the Game Pass and the original 360 for free games with gold. So for the 360 that is, and it's pretty good. Lots of good sound effects. Unfortunately, every time I play Darksiders, I've always played the first 30 minutes of it, and that's it. And I start over from scratch. Because we did play it together back when we were at your place 5 years ago, or 5 years ago, and that was a good. Because that was a good. When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, not bad." And I started playing it myself, and I was like, "Okay, I'll do that for the." I played the remastered version. That was much better in graphics, clarity, resolution. So they cleaned up the graphics pretty well. Now, as far as Darksiders 2 and 3, I want to get the trilogy pack, if they have such thing. You know, buy the remastered Darksiders 2, Darksiders 3 all together in one package. But they never really sold it like that. They sold Darksiders 2 and 3 together for about like $60 or $50 on Xbox Store. So.
Okay, I played. I do have the original Darksiders from Games with Gold. Thing is, I got like the first time I played it when I had the actual game on disc, I got stuck when I got to the Twilight Cathedral, which is like 3 hours into the game. Like, just couldn't figure out where I was supposed to go. I just couldn't figure out where I was supposed to go to get to the boss and continue the game.
Right.
So I downloaded it from Games with Gold, and I didn't even make it to the Twilight Cathedral this time. But like I said, I have it from Games with Gold. I could always re-download it if I want. And luckily, I do have a copy of Darksiders 2 in my online store, so I could always put that in my PS3 and play it if I want. Darksiders 3, I just don't like the way they're going with the Darksiders series because, is it okay if I spoil the end of the first Darksiders?
Yeah, why not? If you want to.
The end of the first Darksiders was basically War cannot clear his name about bringing on the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the women that dressed, I guess, like a god or something, she had like white hair and everything, and like those that weird outfit on. When she first saw War, she goes, "What have you done?" So she says, "So you're gonna face the council by yourself?" And War goes, "Not a chance." He looks up in the sky. You see 3 meteors shooting towards the Earth. It was gonna be death, conquest, and famine standing alongside War to help him fight off the council that was gonna sentence War to death.
Mm.
That was the end of the first Darksiders. Darksiders 2 then. So everyone thought, oh wow, you're gonna have this game where the 4 horsemen are fighting back against this council that want to sentence War to death. Darksiders 2 went back in time, and it was like Darksiders 1 from Death's point of view.
I see.
Which is what not people wanted. And then Darksiders 3, I think it's another horseman's point of view.
Mm.
So, but I mean, I'm obviously going to play it. Maybe Darksiders for me will be a Max Payne thing, where the 3rd game in the series is the first one I beat.
Alright.
The other game we'll be able to download tomorrow is Lost Planet 3. Are you familiar with the Lost Planet series?
I played Lost Planet 1 or 2 for the multiplayer for free. It was a free version. I think it was either a demo version or a free-to-play version. And people were still playing it just like back in 2014, 2015. So,
okay.
it was a good game. It's a good multiplayer. Not bad.
All right. I never played the multiplayer. I didn't even know there was multiplayer. But I've never played the Lost Planet games before. But Lost Planet 3 is supposedly a prequel, meaning the story arc is gonna start with Lost Planet 3. So since we never played the campaign, we might as well start with Lost Planet 3 since that starts, earlier in time.
Okay. It's like Devil May Cry 3, the prequel.
Yeah. The other 2 games, starting like August 15th or 16th, we'll be able to play Yooka-Laylee, which is kind of like a Banjo-Kazooie type of game.
I seen gameplay of it. It's alright. Kind of cute and all.
Yeah, well, Banjo-Kazooie was also cute if you think about it.
Yeah, it's a bear that looks like Yogi Bear.
Yeah.
Boo boo!
Hey, boo boo! And the other game that you'll be able to play at the end of starting the middle of August, is Guru Mask of the Wolves, which is Fatal Fury, which is a fighting game from the Fatal Fury franchise.
The photography game?
No, that's Fatal Frame.
Oh, Fatal Fury. Okay.
Fatal Fury was kind of like something if you didn't want to play like Street Fighter 2, everyone wanted to play. Fatal Fury was like a fighting game like that, but it had its own cast of characters. No one really cared because everyone wanted to play Street Fighter 2 instead.
Did they come off the Dreamcast as the first game? Or not Dreamcast, Sega Saturn? Sega Saturn, actually.
I think maybe Sega Saturn.
So I think I played it with my friend and from here in my area, Queens, and he has a game called something. It's like a fighting game for the Dreamcast, and it was like Fury something or something Fury, and it was about these girls wear like these geisha outfits but in a skirt form, and then do like these ninja moves and shit like that. And it's a fighting game. It was pretty cool. It was sexy for its time. Like the sexy girls, it was like the dead or alive beach volleyball, but for Sega Saturn '90s kids.
Do you remember the name of the actual game?
I can't remember the actual game. I thought it was something like it was a Fatal Fury, because I heard of it for years. Fatal Fury.
Yeah, Fatal Fury. But I'm looking at release dates, and I see 11 different games that came out, including Garu Mask of the Wolves, which originally came out in '99. So that had to be like Dreamcast. That would be like right around the Dreamcast period. November of 1999.
That's the most recent game, yeah.
Is when this game was the game was released. It's one of like the last Fatal Fury franchises that is a fighting game that you can get. So like if you were one of the few people that liked Fatal Fury, and you know one of their last fighting games is going to be released on Xbox Games with Gold starting August 16th.
Yeah.
And I remember one time you said that not many AAA games are released on Games with Gold, but I think that's pretty good. We're getting Darksiders 3. Yooka-Laylee, I think, is AAA because it's living, it's capitalizing where Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie left off.
Wait, Yooka-Laylee is related to Banjo-Kazooie?
Planning on top of that.
Wait, hold on a second, James. You're saying that Yooka-Laylee is related to Banjo-Kazooie as story mode or story-wise?
It's basically the same type of game.
Oh, same type of game. I thought there was a relation or in the same universe or the same world. Okay.
It's the same type. That's why the name is kind of spelled the same.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean these. So I gotta say this is actually a pretty good. This is so it's a platformer. Yooka-Laylee, and the Impossible Liar, which I think is, but like the title screen just says Yooka-Laylee. I'm looking it up. It's basically like a 2.5D platformer.
Okay.
Yooka-Laylee. Okay, here we go. Yooka-Laylee is a platform game from a third-person perspective. The gameplay is similar to Banjo-Kazooie and Chameleon Twist. The player controls two characters that work together to explore, collect items, solve puzzles, and defeat enemies.
Okay.
So I'd say like of the 4 games that are coming out this month, I think maybe 3 would be considered AAA. The only one I wouldn't consider AAA is that fighting game.
Okay.
Do you agree or disagree?
I'm sorry, repeat the question? Sorry about that.
Do you agree that we're getting like a good number of AAA releases, or
it's
do you
not
think
the same?
Darksiders 3 is the only AAA game?
Darksiders 3 is the only one that stands out, and that's considered to be like a regular, not B version or B grade, but it's like one of those hit and miss type of games, because obviously Darksiders wasn't as big when it was released for the first time, and even after Darksiders 2. So I guess you could say Darksiders 3 is supposed to be the finale of what happens with the Horse Apocalypse, or whatever to call those guys. I'll play Darksiders 3, but it's not going to be it's not going to be like Halo or Gears of War type of accolade.
Well, what I was asking is, if you look at the 4 games that are being offered for Games with Gold, Darksiders 3, Lost Planet 3, Ukulele, and fighters that, again, what's that fighting game? Guru, Mask of the Wolves. The only game that looks like it's a throwaway game would be that Fatal Fury fighting game.
Okay.
Is it Lost Planet, like a AAA series?
I heard of it for a while, but it wasn't like stand out like Mass Effect. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's not. It doesn't have the same success
Or
as
the
other
oomph.
AAA titles.
The coverage, the exposure, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm still gonna be interested in trying out the 3 games. The Mask of the Wolves. I'll try it too, but I just don't see myself going back to it. Next, the PS5 sold 10 million units in 35 weeks. It took the PS4 39 weeks to reach 10 million units sold. This is more than the Xbox Series consoles combined. So the PS5 seems to be selling well. Obviously, a number of that has to do with scalpers, but obviously Sony doesn't care. The money's in their pocket either way. But are you surprised with how well the PS5 is selling more than the Xbox Series consoles?
I guess. I mean, like I said, I'd rather stick with the big dogs, the big the games of the big mainstream systems. Like I said, with Halo and et cetera, et cetera. So.
Okay, yeah, I'm not jumping to PS5 because the whole memory, the whole internal memory thing.
Oh yeah, the battery behind the matter too.
That's gonna turn me off from PS5. And I heard like the Xbox Series X actually comes with like a terabyte of internal memory to begin with.
Definitely.
The Series S only comes with like 512 gigabytes, which is smaller than my Xbox One. My Xbox One has 747 gigabytes of memory when everything is wiped clean. There's no games installed.
Right.
So I can't believe the Series S, which won't even play discs, has such a small memory capacity. So like if I do ever get the money, I'm going for the Series X, just so I got at least start out with a terabyte of memory.
Mm-hmm.
Because because think about how big these games are going to be. Gears of War 4 on Xbox One needs over 100 gigabytes by itself. If you install Gears of War 4, you need like 101 gigabytes of free space.
Speaking of the top tier games for the Xbox, Halo Master Chief Collection right now is 138 gigabytes in size.
How much?
138
gigabytes?
Yep. Because the extra features and all.
But at the same time, Halo Master Chief Collection, how many games are in that collection?
6, I believe.
Yeah, so you're talking about 6 games. All of them have a single-player story, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of them have their own multiplayer modes on top of that.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, it's not like one game is 138 gigabytes. It's like 6 games is taking up 138 gigabytes.
But the reason why it's so much right now is because of the extra features for the last couple of years, with the extra skins and cosmetics and such, and also new nameplates. Some of the nameplates are GIF format or GIF format, whatever you want to call them.
Okay, so yeah, but they're going to add those things trying to entice gamers to buy the game and play. But the thing is, I think that's like I said, the 1 terabyte hard drive, that sounds like it'll be manageable, at least in the beginning, depending on how many games you get. But I just don't know. I just don't know what they were thinking with the Xbox Series S and the PS5. So Yeah, so I guess just be wary of that before for those who haven't been able to get your hands like on next gen system, just be wary of that before you pull the trigger if you haven't already. And the next story, okay, you're gonna have to comment first because I'm gonna be in a ranting mode. California, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington are beginning to prevent gamers from purchasing high-spec gaming PCs and even middle-of-the-road gaming PCs due to energy consumption concerns.
Well...
Six Democratic states, all of them are Democratic-run, are basically saying, don't buy high-specification computers because we need to save energy.
Well, that's what they said at first, but then other people who reported the matter, saying that they didn't mean it like that. It's kind of strange though, because there's mixed reactions so far. Some people, the first time what I heard was that they're going to reduce or outright ban these high performance computers for PC gamers and such. But then all of a sudden, like hours to days later, there's these new group of people, not new, but they started talking on YouTube saying that, they don't mean them like that. They just want you to buy the new shit, the newer versions of the systems of computers, not the old ones. Because the old ones, what you want to call them, because obviously every 2 weeks there's a new model or a new remake or a new make and model of computers. So if we wait for a few weeks to a few months, we get the energy saving PC games, and then it's okay to buy them, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I heard that like certain computer companies like Dell wouldn't even ship certain computers to certain states.
That sucks.
And some of the PCs that were basically told that people weren't allowed to get weren't even that high performance. They were like middle of the road performance.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, did you say what you have to say? Because I'm about to get in a ranting mode, but I want you to finish first.
Go ahead. I'm finished for now.
Okay.
So you get ready for this, huh?
You know it's coming.
Yeah, get sip of that water.
The people in these states who always vote D for Democrats, have you woken up yet, you idiots? Let's look at these states. California doesn't even allow people to do freelance work anymore. There were people who were freelance writing articles like me, and they said in California you can only write 35 articles per year if you're a freelancer.
Who says that?
Otherwise, some company must have you on the payroll as an employee. So you really trying to tell me that these states aren't trying to overstep their bounds and tell you what computers you are and aren't allowed to get? Like, is there really anyone that's still buying into this crap that the Democrats are overstepping their bounds? I mean, let's look at New York. They're upset about energy concern, but they don't have the brains to shut down Times Square's screens either. So I mean, why don't these people that's still voting Democrat in these states, why don't they actually wake up, pull their head out of their ass so they can see the sunlight, and actually look into these situations? Because you're just giving these people more power, which is all they want. You know what they do in China? They actually ban game consoles and only let you play through gaming cafes so they can control how much you play. You keep supporting this shit that the Democrats want, and you know what? Your democratic state's going to turn into a sub version of China also, where they tell you how much you can play, what you can do, what you can't do.
Good rant.
I planned it to be a lot longer.
Go ahead and make it longer.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, so California is already telling you that you can't do jobs, which basically just by the way, all those jobs that were hiring freelance writers, they just went and hired people from other places. So that was a great job in California. And now they're saying, oh, you can only get computers that we tell you can get. So why don't these people wake up, stop voting D, stop voting blue, no matter who, and actually look into these candidates that you're putting into office, and maybe you'll actually get some smarts, and you will realize the monsters that you're voting into office because you just said, oh, D, Jack. Because what's going to be next? Let's say this goes unchecked. This goes, I'm the only one ranting about this. I'm the only one who's got a problem with this, even though I don't live in a democratic state because I'd rather be dead. What are they going to tell you what you can do next? Are they going to start saying, oh, we got a problem with obesity, so you can only buy the amount of fatty foods that we allow you to buy?
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Or what are they going to go after next? Oh, no gaming consoles online past 10 p.m., regardless how old you are.
Now, that'll be fucked up. I'll definitely kill that politician myself. So what? There, that's why I said it. You don't tell me when to play. I play whenever I want to. Now, if I'm homeless or whatever, it's a different story. But right now, I'm still fortunate. I want to play as much as possible. I lost my school, so I want no beef with no politician lately. Try to tell us what to do. Tell us that we have no free will. Because if you check my Twitter, guys, to those who are well aware, you'll see that I have a favorite, a like that, of the poster saying that there's some guy from either the United Nations or from CDC saying that, oh, that free will, all that choices you make for yourself will be over. That's what he said in the video. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
And people still take it up the ass. No offense, excuse my language.
Yeah, because a lot of people they just give in. They just give in. That's why I'm happy to be living in a Republican one state, where there's been rumblings that there might be more lockdowns coming, but if a national lockdown is ordered, I pretty much guarantee the Democratic states are going to do it, and the Republican states are going to say no.
Yeah, if there's going to be a lockdown in my state again, I don't know what's going to happen with the economy at large. Because we're starting recovering here in New York City. And Como, de Blasio, I don't know what's wrong with them, but they better get their act together as leaders.
Well, de Blasio's, isn't he serving his final term?
Yeah, his last year or two.
And they voted a former police chief as the new mayor, so...
That's good.
So people are starting to get tired of these people wanting states, unchecked.
We need some new parties to begin with. And we already have parties to begin with too, like the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, etc., but no one's not voting for them. No one's not voting or promoting these people. And some of them have good ideas. If we could get people to vote,
It's unfortunate because, there's just no support for those parties because no one's how many people I wonder, and it's probably in the millions, hundreds of millions, I'll even say, who voted in the 2020 election, who said, who picked a candidate based on Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, or Green Party. They chose based on the party, not on the actual candidate.
That's stupid.
And the thing is, yes, I voted Republican down ballot, but the thing is, that's because the Democrats that were being offered in the position, I didn't like any of them. So it's like, well, if the Democrats can't give me someone that I like, then I'll just go with someone else, which was Republicans. But I'm not saying Republicans are the greatest. There are a few I like, but there's also a few Democrats I like. Well, Tulsi Gabbard, if she had if she had won the nomination for president, I wouldn't have really cared if she had won or lost. I would, if she had won, I would have said, you know what, she's not my first choice, but you know, I still think she'll do a better job than the geriatric man with dementia that we have now. And I think there's someone running for governor who was a former Democrat.
Okay.
And now he's running as Republican.
All right.
And people are upset with my current Republican governor because he wouldn't investigate the fraudulent votes that came in during the 2020 election. But it turns out a lot of votes, enough to change the results of the state, were fraudulent.
Yeah, because it was all fluff. It was just like fake votes from the start.
Yeah, and the thing is, my current governor didn't investigate that. So a lot of people that voted for Trump are upset with the Republican governor that we currently have.
Yeah, that sucks.
So, but the thing is, also, I think the guy that wants to run, his name is Eric Adams.
That sounds familiar. He sounds like a good. I think I've heard of him before. Well, who is he exactly?
Since I don't say anything wrong, let me research so I can. Let's see. American politician, retired police officer, who is. Oh no! I made a mistake. Eric Adams is the guy from New York. Who Georgia governors?
The governor right now is Andrew Cuomo. He's a Democrat.
Eric Adams is the guy who is trying to become the next mayor of New York.
Oh, okay, Eric Adams. Okay. As you can tell, I don't follow too much of the local mayoral collections this year because I wanted to vote for Andrew Yang, even though he's more of a Democrat.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to find out, like, because I know some guy was running for like I said, Vernon Jones is the guy I was thinking of.
Okay.
He's a former Democrat, and he's the CEO of DeKalb County. But the thing is, like, Vernon Jones, he had an interview with like CNN or some other news channel.
Okay.
And he basically put them on blast, saying, like, you know, he was like, yeah, I'm black, but you wish you were interviewing Stacey Abrams in this position, which that gremlin could go hide under whatever sewer she climbed out of, because
Stacey
we don't
Abrams,
need someone like her.
She seems irrelevant in today's time. Like, oh, so she was a candidate.
She ran for governor of Georgia in 2018.
Yeah, she's irrelevant right now. She's not doing much for herself.
Yeah, actually, I want to see if I can get the results of that.
She should like hold off on any public appearances until she's ready to go back into politics officially. But
she should do everyone a favor and just leave politics. Let's see, Georgia, because I'm looking up governor races from 2018.
We'll have ours next couple of years for the governor of New York.
Yeah. Kemp won, but not by much in 2018. He had one from the popular votes. He had 1,978,408 votes. Stacey Abrams had 1,923,685 votes. So it was 50.2% to 48.8%. So it wasn't as big as I thought it was. But luckily we didn't end up with her as governor.
Okay.
So yeah, and that rant before was just the people who vote Democrat without even looking at the candidates. If you live in those states and you vote Republican, I wasn't talking to you. It's just the people that hate the position they're in, but then they keep voting Democrats anyway. So just so people know who that rant was directed towards. So I was expecting that rant to be a lot longer, but if I keep going on, I'm just going to be repeating myself.
Yeah, I mean, to us as citizens, even though it's a gaming podcast, you guys should understand that anyone's over 18 and above right now, as this recorded, it is our responsibility to keep our leaders in check, whether they're officials that we vote in or not, because they will affect this country in a futuristic type of setting over time. And look what's going on for the last 25 years, at least 25 years. And I for one did voted. Last time I voted nationally was in 2012, and for mayor back in like 2015, 2014. So basically yes, I haven't been involved in politics on a voting matter for the last couple of years because there's no choices out there for me. And we have to understand as voters that we have more than two choices between Democrat and Republican. We have all these parties that have been around for decades, if not at least a few years. New parties still arise. Some will not be well mentioned, some will be well mentioned. You just gotta just keep voting those alternatives. That's what I did with I voted for Ron Paul 2 times back in 2008 and 2012 for president.
But not only that, what we also have to do is not just vote for, not just pay attention to people like Green Party, Libertarian Party, not just that, but also if you understand these things yourself, whether it's regardless what office, school board, county, or the county of the board of the county or whatever. If you know a lot about these things, why not throw your hat in the race yourself? See if you can get some campaign together, like on GoFundMe or something, because that's what those websites are designed for. And try to change things the way that you would want to see them, instead of just complaining about the same people that you don't like in charge now.
Yes, the Democrat-Republican machine is not going to change much over time. It really isn't. It's the same thing over and over.
The Republican machine, you could change the Republican machine. A lot of people use Republican or Democrat just to get their foot in the door because, like you said, a lot of people don't pay attention to third parties. But the thing is, once you get your foot in the door, you could, if you get elected, you could vote for the policies that you said you were going to vote for.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like 1984 where most of us are just watching the elites control everything and we have to like it with no matter what. Why not? If you don't like the way things are going, why not one in your state and it doesn't even have to be president or senator or your House of Representatives. It could be something like city council or mayor or governor.
Hell, even the local presidential counties. Not presidential, but like the borough president or the executive director or the executive president of Nassau County, like Tom Swazi was back in the 90s and 2000s. Something like that. Right. At least. That's local.
Yeah. So if you're not someone that has a lot of money, I'd say go like to one of those websites, GoFundMe or something. Try to get some money together and go for a lower ranked office, and then work your way up if and then change little by little. If I lived in Portland, I would try to become governor. I probably would have gotten a lot of votes too, just based on the fact that they had a choice between someone who supported Antifa or someone who was a member of Antifa. there was like a bunch of people like between 20 and 30% saying, can we write someone's name in because we don't like either of the candidates.
Yeah, writing candidates. That's even better. You gotta know how to spell it properly, though.
But the only way writing candidates go in is if a lot of people, bow to vote for the same person they write in.
Which I did with Ron Paul back in 2008, 2012. He didn't get the Republican nominations for both elections, but he was willing to be a writing candidate. He told publicly to people. There wasn't enough people to do it, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, why this also applies to a gaming podcast is, in China, like I said, they have gaming cafes, and the reason they want gaming cafes in China is because that way they can control how much you can play. They want you to play a certain amount. Be allowed to play a certain amount every day, and that's it.
And also to make money.
But that's why they've been very negative towards home consoles in the past.
Oh.
So,
and also to make money too, because gaming cafes, with gaming cafes, you can also make money too. If you're an owner, like you'll make like thousands of dollars a day for them to buy food from you, to buy electricity from you, the hours to be used for that computer, as well as the games to be used for that computer, so you can rent games there too. Those gaming cafes make a lot of money, I'm certain, I bet.
Yeah, but a lot of reason those are available is because they can control how much you play each day. And
I don't think so.
And they don't have the freedom to play from home like we enjoy in the United States and other countries.
I don't think that's not the case really about controlling how much you play, because there's been stories and testimonies on video. You look up on Facebook, Twitter. These people taking baths next to their PCs in the game cafes. They haven't taken showers in days, and they still stay there in China and Korea, and South Korea that is, and the Philippines.
Well, South Korea. I'm talking about actual communist countries, full-blown communist countries like China and North Korea.
China too, yeah. I'm not sure about North Korea, but definitely China.
Okay, well, again,
and the Philippines.
But again, at the same time, now you got democratic people. You got democratic states telling you what performance PCs you can and cannot get. Certain computer companies won't even deliver to your house if you live in those states if you order too much of a high intensity, a high running PC. And it's just like, if you accept this, it's gonna move further. And then what's next? So that's what the rant was about. And the last subject we have for tonight is harassment claims made against Blizzard. Sexual harassment claims made by employees or former employees. Have you heard about this story about the claims made against Blizzard?
Yes, it's worse than I expected from reporters like Jeremy of the Quarter, and he talked about it in details, and surprisingly, he's where he's getting his sources from, because he has people emailing him from Blizzard Activision, and he's telling people by his emails that like these are scary but most likely official stories, because I'm not saying that he's a liar, but it's just that he can't just tell the actual name or the actual email of that person. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta take as word.
Yeah, because the employees actually, this was reported just a couple days ago, 3 days ago. Employees at Activision Blizzard staged a walkout Wednesday to demand better working conditions for women and other marginalized groups after the state of California sued the company last week, alleging widespread sexual harassment and discrimination. One quote was, "We believe that our values as employees are not being accurately reflected in the words and actions of our leadership," organizers said in a statement released Tuesday, referring to the company's official response to a lawsuit in which it denied the allegations. Employees began the event outside Blizzard's main campus in Irvine, California at 10 a.m. Pacific time, with a virtual protest taking place on social media for those who couldn't attend in person starting at 9 a.m. Pacific using the hashtag #ActaBlizzWalkout. The California Department of Fair Employment and Housing last week sued Activision Blizzard, one of the largest video game companies in the world, which makes popular titles including World of Warcraft and Call of Duty, alleging that the company has a pervasive frat boy culture in which female employees are sexually harassed and are paid and promoted less than their male counterparts. After the lawsuit was filed, several former employees shared further allegations of harassment and discrimination on social media, while dozens of current employees expressed their solidarity with the women whose allegations were featured in the lawsuit. One person said, "We know people across the company who have been complaining about these issues for decades or who have made allegations and have not been listened to," said Valentine Powell, a software engineer who was one of more than 300 employees involved in organizing the protest. The lawsuit and the company's response to it was the match that lit the powder keg. Blizzard did not respond to a request for comment. It issued statements last week condemning sexual harassment in the workplace, but downplaying the allegations in the lawsuit. They said, "We value diversity and strive to foster a workplace that offers inclusivity for everyone," said by a spokesperson for Activision Blizzard, said in a statement responding to the lawsuit. "There's no place in our company or industry or any industry for sexual misconduct or harassment of any kind." This all sounds like sweeping it under the rug. The company also said the lawsuit includes distorted and in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past. Employees participating in the walkout took issue with the company's statement. They said, "That's patently untrue," Powell said. "These things have been happening right up to the current day." The same employees who organized the walkout also drafted a letter condemning the company's response to the lawsuit, which more than 3,000 current and former employees had signed by midday Tuesday. This goes on. So basically, I just wanted to get a more clear description of what's going on. Yeah, so women say they've been treated unfairly at Blizzard, and I know someone else said this, I forget who, it wasn't Jeremy that I heard him say it, but it sounds like, yeah, Blizzard's just trying to sweep it under the rug. Like, we would never allow this if it really was happening. But, you got hundreds of employees, both past and present, who are saying it's happening. And, so did that article say anything that you didn't know, or?
Maybe. It's been a few days I haven't watched Jeremy's videos for that specific details, but just from all of the internet, from like whether it's on YouTube or Twitter or MySpace or whatever, wherever these posters occur for people talking about the matter with their sources, it matches up to something like what you just mentioned over the last minute. So, because obviously, there's a frat house at Blizzard and Activision.
Yeah. So I don't think there would be this many people talking both past and present if this wasn't true. I'm kind of surprised with the pay thing because paying someone is because of what gender they are is illegal.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people basically said that a lot of women on the other hand have been saying that they've been either sexually harassed or paid less while they're doing the same work that guys are.
Or even more work, because I heard what the male workers will be playing games all day long, while the female workers will be like doing all the work. Kind of weird, but that's what happened. It's a one-way frat house.
Yeah.
And the girls are like bitches and winches. They're winches, pretty much.
So apparently, So apparently Blizzard, they've been, I guess the best way to say it is they've been naughty. And I guess the only thing I really can say is, what's going to happen, what will happen because of this, we'll find out. I guess we'll just keep an eye on the situation, keep looking at reports that come out.
Yeah.
And only time will tell what will happen then.
Oh yeah.
Before we get ready to wrap up, is there anything you wanted to cover that we didn't cover?
Well, if it's okay with you, I want to talk about what beforehand I told you the other day about my activities with my school that I've been doing for the last year and a half. Can I talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
So to those that are well aware, I've been studying business with computers for the last year and a half, and my school got shut down, or will shut down by tomorrow night. And I'm not going to get no credit for it because I chose an option to have a full refund of everything. Because, sure, I can transfer the credits from that school to another school, but at the same time, thank goodness I chose the third option, because my classmates who are transferring heard about the school that they go into is worse than Independence University, the one I'm going to now, or I've been at as of August 1st. So I'll go to another school, not sure when, give myself 2 or 3 months to sort this out with the school that I'm currently in now, and hopefully by October or November I'll be back to school doing something with business again, at this time an associate's degree, not a bachelor's degree, try to wind it down a bit. But I would like to go with bachelor's again, because that's where most of the money is to those that want to look for work in the IT department, or in making your own business, or being a consultant. So if you use these degrees to your advantage. Just not every single major is going to be the biggest of the big. You just got to pick and choose which one. And that's what I did. And I thought this school will be good for me for another couple more years, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. So now I'm just waiting for now and just see what happens in the next couple of months.
Okay. You also said in the meantime you're going to focus on releasing more content for your BitChute and YouTube channels, right?
I'll do my best to do so. It's just that right now, we're not sure about my living situation, because I heard, but I don't think I should have mentioned this publicly, but my aunt received a lawsuit from our landlord, or from our agency that's involved with the in charge of our apartment regulations, being in this apartment. So they sued my aunt, and we're not sure how I'm going to stay here for a couple of months or so. So I'll try to make as much videos as possible for the next couple of months. But after a couple of months, once again, because by August 30th, all landlord-related matters throughout the United States, it will be expired by the government. So after
August, that expired today.
They extended it to August 30th or August 31st.
Okay, people like Six Hexenhammer said like the moratorium, if that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
That was ending today. It was July 31st.
He's right about it depends on what state. I should say what state though.
Oh, okay.
But here in New York State, we are protected for another month, technically speaking.
Okay.
So that's either old news, or it depends on what state you're in that is affected the earliest, or the worse or the earlier the worser type of situation within the next month. So that's what's going on with my aunt and I. Where I live in a situation where we're okay, we're eating, we're trying to work whatever we can. For me, that is, my aunt is retiring. She's trying to get her paperwork in order, and it's just that, you expect to get a degree within a couple of years from all the hard work you did with this current college, but it's just, I want to say it's a total waste, but all these unexpectancies, it's because of the COVID, the New World Order agenda. It's all mixed up. It's all a mixture of things, guys. It's we may not be able to fight them directly by battlefield or whatever, but through ingenuity and street smarts, we can adapt. So for the time, that's all we can do for the time being, guys. So
Yeah, basically just hang in there and do your best, do what you can.
yeah, and even if you don't believe in that mantra of the New World Order or the Illuminati and stuff like that, there's always someone out there trying to screw you over. Someone out there, whether on purpose or by mistake.
Well, the thing is, it's just like, I mean, it's like, you could be out there trying to succeed, but that doesn't mean there aren't others trying to succeed in their own life, even if it's at your expense.
Yes.
Because it's, like when it's a competitive thing, either you're going to succeed at someone else's expense or they're going to succeed at your expense.
Competition 101.
Yep.
And I can understand why you haven't been back to college for the past few years yourself, just because of these matters. Because there was lack of funding with the schooling of the FAFSA program between the school I go to and the government. Whatever Biden's been doing for the past several months, it's affected everything. What's going on now? That's another factor in the matter too.
Alright, so this was episode number 26 of the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. The next episode will be our 1-year anniversary episode since we started doing the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast on August 14th at 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't know, do you have any ideas what we should do special for a 1-year episode?
That's a good question. Well,
we'll have to think about that when we end this.
Yes, definitely.
Special.
Hey, we could actually play some music and get some girls in here and such. That'd be a good thing.
If we could do that, why haven't we been doing that already?
It's the special occasion. That's all.
Well, yeah, okay. If you know the girls, you give me their number.
Well, I mean, most of them are into games, but we'll think of something.
We'll think of something to do. Maybe a special segment or something.
Yes.
If nothing else.
Yes.
But that'll be in 2 weeks on August 14th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll try to be on Twitch, but like I said, I'm also focusing on video game reviews, which is why I'm not on Twitch as often as I used to be. So see you next time I'm on Twitch.
Goodbye.
Good night, everyone.
Goodbye.